DJ, put a nigga back to the record, baby, and give me this right now.
What's up everyone, Brian ASTRO here. We'll be playing some NBA 2K21. In my last video, we did some trade deadline scenarios, but after the trade deadline, it seems like the major players that got moved were LaMarcus Aldridge and Andre Drummond, both from the buyout market, who became free agents and then signed with championship contender teams like the Lakers and the Brooklyn Nets. So, just to give you guys a rundown of what it looks like. So you got Andre Drummond coming in, most likely going to be playing center with the Lakers. And then you got LaMarcus Aldridge coming in, filling in that center spot for the Brooklyn Nets. I think in terms of how the lineups is going to go, so let's see. In terms of the lineup, so you'll most likely, once everyone is healthy, have Dennis Schroeder, Caldwell Pope, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Andre Drummond, giving that defensive-minded center position for the Los Angeles Lakers, because they honestly need Andre Drummond to be starting. His ability to grab rebounds and also have this great post-up defense is really going to help the Los Angeles Lakers. It also, because Andre Drummond is not a great offensive player, I think playing with LeBron James is going to give him that extra boost to be able to make great plays, because he makes a lot of easy mistakes. So having Anthony Davis and LeBron James in that starting lineup is going to give him the confidence to score on whoever is guarding him. So that's what the starting five is looking like. In terms of coming off the bench, you have Montrezl Harrell probably playing power forward, Kyle Kuzma playing that small forward spot, Marc Gasol that center spot, THT playing that shooting guard spot, and of course Alex Caruso being the point guard for the bench unit. And in terms of your 11th and 12th, you got Markieff Morris and Wesley Matthews. And I think they're only going to play during the regular season. I think once it's the playoffs, they're going to stick to a strict 10-man rotation, possibly 9. Yeah. They might even bring it down to like a strict 8-man rotation. It just depends on how Alex Caruso and THT are playing towards the end of the season. And then in terms of the Brooklyn Nets, so I think the lineup is going to look like Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Joe Harris, Kevin Durant. And I think instead of LaMarcus Aldridge, I think DeAndre Jordan is going to be playing that center position. Limited minutes, of course, as compared to LaMarcus Aldridge. But him playing that center spot gives most likely the best defense that the Brooklyn Nets need. They have a lot of offensive power already with the starting lineup. You got Kyrie Irving, James Harden facilitating scoring. You got Joe Harris shooting those sharpshooter three-pointers. You got Kevin Durant, giving in those efficient numbers. And I think DeAndre Jordan as a starting center would be beneficial, because not only is he a great defensive player, but he also can catch lobs. So, and I think coming off the bench, once Spencer Dinwiddie's healthy, and of course Kevin Durant's healthy, this is how it's going to be. You're going to have Spencer Dinwiddie being the point guard, LaMarcus Aldridge being the center, Blake Griffin as the power forward, Bruce Brown as the shooting guard, and I think Jeff Green is going to be a small forward. And then your 11th and 12th man, of course, let me just switch these over. is going to be Claxton, and I think it's going to be strict 11-man rotation. I mean, during the regular season, they could play up to 15. So they got Claxton as your 11th. Then you got Tyler Johnson, Timothy, Elise Johnson, and Landon Shamet. So that's your 15-man rotation if they choose to do that. That gives Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant more time to rest. They don't have to necessarily play all these minutes to take the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, Eastern Conference. So yeah, that's what I think will happen with the Brooklyn Nets. And is there anything else? That's all. So I'm gonna simulate towards the end of the season, and we'll see how the playoffs shake out with the Brooklyn Nets and the Los Angeles Lakers. All right, see you there. All right, here we are at the end of the season. We got Joel Embiid as the MVP. We got LaMelo Ball Rookie of the Year, Spencer Dinwiddie as 6th man, Giannis as defensive, and Christian Wood as most improved. For the Coach of the Year, it is Doc Rivers. Okay. And then we got James Harden, LeBron James, let's see, Kevin Durant, and that's it for those 2 teams. Yep. Okay, so here is how the lineup is looking like. We have Lakers as the number 1 seed and Brooklyn Nets as the 5th seed. And then in the playoffs, you have Charlotte Hornets staying in that 4 seed, Boston Celtics moving up to the 3rd seed, Milwaukee Bucks 2nd, Chicago Bulls 7, and the Toronto Raptors barely squeeze in at the 8th. And then on the Western Conference side, New Orleans Pelicans are definitely not going to make it. So I would probably put another team, I don't know, instead of the New Orleans Pelicans. But just imagine it was, let's say, the Trailblazers instead. And then over here, the Memphis Grizzlies. Can't think of a team off the top of my head. But let's just say it's another team. So I definitely could see this happening. Mavericks barely squeezing in, the Warriors barely squeezing in. Denver Nuggets getting in that 3rd seed. Utah Jazz wouldn't fall down, so they would probably stay in that number 1 seed. And Lakers probably like a 3rd seed. Oh, I see, Clippers. That's what this is missing. The Clippers aren't here, but the Clippers would definitely make it. Alright, so let's just simulate these playoffs and see how far the Brooklyn Nets and the Lakers get. No, I should have done it by a round. So it looks like the Lakers straight up just sweep the Golden State Warriors. And the Brooklyn Nets are winning 3-2. And they should take that last one, yeah. Okay, so now it's going to be... So this is something that could definitely happen. Lakers against Utah Jazz. Phoenix Suns against Mavericks. Yeah, that could happen. And then you got Boston Celtics against Chicago Bulls. Don't doubt the Chicago Bulls. They just got Vucevic, so they could definitely make a playoff run. I'm surprised the Miami Heat didn't make it, but, you know, it's alright. They always got next year. Alright, let's see. Simulate this round. I think the Lakers shouldn't have any troubles with the Utah Jazz, especially because Gobert is... Okay, so the Brooklyn Nets got eliminated by the 76ers. Interesting. I definitely see that happening. But let's continue. Let's see what happens. Yeah, Lakers are going to the championship and 76ers. So it looks like this, even though Brooklyn Nets has so much firepower, due to their chemistry, they could lose to the 76ers, who have a very long time with their core. So you could see this in the finals, Lakers against the Philadelphia 76ers. And it looks like, oh, it's so close. Looks like it's gonna go to game 7, so we'll just simcast this and see. Let's see where it goes to. Ooh, so tight. Lakers are barely taking the lead. Looks like the 76ers are gonna take that third quarter, and Lakers are going to win it, just barely. Not bad for the Lakers. Yeah. Let's try really quick. Where is the playoffs? There you go. Let's see what would happen if we had this seed instead. So you have Utah Jazz #1, Brooklyn Nets #1, and then you could take a look at the rest. Lakers are #3. I think this is the most probable seeds. And let's just simulate the playoffs. Always. Alright, let's see how. Okay, so Lakers got eliminated, and the Brooklyn Nets win. So, oh, the Clippers against the Jazz. Ooh, the Trailblazers beat the Lakers. Could this happen? Honestly, I definitely see the 76ers against the Brooklyn Nets in the Eastern Conference, and I definitely see I don't know, it's either Utah Jazz or Denver Nuggets against the Lakers or Clippers. The Western Conference is going to be tight. I think it all depends on how healthy everyone is. And then the finals, of course, is I think it's going to be definitely the Brooklyn Nets against, if the Lakers are healthy, the Lakers. If not, it could go to possibly the Clippers. I wouldn't doubt it. And then the Brooklyn Nets would edge out. And then when it comes to the Lakers, if they were to face Brooklyn Nets, I think they would win. However, Spencer Dinwiddie being healthy could give the Nets the edge to beat the Lakers. So it just all depends on injuries and health, and also chemistry. I think if the Brooklyn Nets can somehow incorporate LaMarcus Aldridge without having to suffer their chemistry, I think they would win. Otherwise, if they have to like control minutes and limit their core three, I think the Lakers could take it. So, anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video. It's just giving you guys some scenarios about what might happen in the playoffs, and specifically the championship contenders, Los Angeles Lakers and the Brooklyn Nets. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'm gonna be doing some videos on the Denver Nuggets and the Miami Heat. I think they have a shot as well, and they can make one or two moves that could give them a chance to be a title contender. Anyways, that's all for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.